Berberine.
I'm more of a Scotch guy myself, so but let's see where this goes.
No, Berberine, not bourbon.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah.
Berberine, hot social media topic.
It's a hot social media topic. It's an ancient Chinese medicine that's been around for centuries.
Do you remember that commercial, Ancient Chinese Secret from the 70s?
Yes, Calgon.
Yeah, I was like to watch it close.
Okay, so where does it come from? Plants?
Yes, 100% plants. Golden seal, gold thread.
Sounds like a James Bond movie.
Yeah,
so
Oregon grape. So yeah, it's this bitter tasting yellow extract.
Oregon grape, is it going to end up in some wine at some point?
I don't think so, to be honest with you, so don't use that as a reason to drink wine. But yeah, from a bunch of different plant supplements, been around for thousands of years, made lots of claims, but definitely a role in Chinese medicine.
It's been around for thousands of years, but finally seeing light of day because of the internet and social media.
Yes, and I think because people have lost faith in traditional medicine a little bit, people are looking for other ways to more naturally deal with their health. And also, we've talked about this before, people are always looking for a hack. How to live longer, how to lose weight, how to maybe eat poorly but still be okay.
Okay, well don't go away the ending of this video. Is this stuff great or what? We're gonna find out if this stuff is really what it's all cut out to be.
So what are the claims? What do they say can help?
I mean, they call it nature's Ozempic, right? Because of weight loss. It can cause weight loss. So everyone's saying, oh, you can lose weight with this. It can help your cardiac health. It can help your PCOS symptoms. It can lower your cholesterol.
Yep, it's anti-inflammatory benefits.
All these amazing things. I'm gonna start taking it right away.
It really is amazing. Okay.
So
how does it work?
Okay, first of all, it's not nature's Ozempic because Ozempic and Berberine have completely different mechanisms of action. Right now, we don't fully understand Berberine's mechanism of action, but we do understand Ozempic's mechanism of action. And Ozempic binds to the GLP-1 receptors in your cells, giving you the feeling that you're full even when you're not full after eating. Your stomach's distended, it sends out a hormone that makes you feel like your stomach's distended, so you eat less. It has a ton of side effects associated with it. We've talked about it before in another video with someone who knows what they're talking about with Ozempic.
And here's a hot tip. So we looked into, in part of the research for this video, about things that normally increase GLP-1. This is a little bit of a side kind of issue. So things that improve GLP-1 release or action are naturally occurring. So glucose. We obviously can't tell people just to eat glucose, but if you eat complex carbohydrates like potatoes and sweet potatoes, that some people say, oh, don't ever eat any carbohydrates. Complex carbs actually release glucose very slowly along the entire length of your intestine, and there are receptors there that GLP will be released from. So that's the first thing. Second thing, peptides and amino acids. So proteins, these other macronutrients cause GLP-1 to go up and cause you to feel full. Maybe this is actually why people that are on heavy duty keto and carnivore diets actually feel better and lose weight. And the last one is short chain free fatty acids. So we're not going to tell people to eat diets high in fat necessarily, but interestingly, fiber, when it is consumed in a healthy diet, there are bacteria in your gut, fermentable bacteria, that break down the fiber into short fatty acids that cause GLP-1, and this is one reason why you feel full. So there's ways to hack your own GLP-1. Okay, so let's get back to Berberine.
Thank you, Bill Nye, the science guy. Okay, so we talked about Ozempic's mechanism of action, and Berberine acts completely differently. It's more like a metformin action where it activates the AMPK enzyme pathway. Not to get too complicated in it, but it sort of helps the role of insulin in your body, helps your body to stop being so insulin resistant. And that's sort of, we thought to be the mechanism there. So they're completely different mechanisms of action. So it's not nature's Ozempic, even though everyone's still going to call it that for a long time.
Because Ozempic just, man, in the last 3 months, it's gone crazy.
Is there any good scientific evidence to support its role in weight loss?
So I would say, in defense of the poor research, because there is almost none, to be very honest with you. Most of the studies that have shown that Berberine has benefit are very small studies, short follow-up studies, and poorly run studies. And we've taught our viewers many different videos on how to assess the quality of a research paper or a research project.
Right. Just because a study shows something, it doesn't mean it's truth, okay? Science is a big gray area. And if you compare out there the number of studies that are high quality, well done with no bias, compared to the number of studies that are poor quality, loaded with bias, and not very well performed. There's way more bad studies out there than good studies. So you really need to critically appraise the studies you're looking at. So as it stands now, the studies that support Berberine are small numbers, low quality, poorly executed studies, and not sort of gold standard studies that expose truth.
Right, and this is the trouble too, is on social media, lots of other medical practitioners or even non-medical practitioners will quote these studies and say, hey, this study showed a small reduction in weight loss. This study showed a small reduction in cholesterol. They don't compare them to the gold standard. They don't follow them appropriately. Even the anti-inflammatory one, there was a good study that showed it didn't reduce your C-reactive protein, your interleukin-6, which are measures of inflammation. The one I would say that there's some borderline evidence for is maybe the PCOS people with the insulin resistance, and again, by a mechanism that's not totally understood. But having said that, metformin is one of the first-line treatments for PCOS insulin resistance. So you got to put it up against the gold standard to make a claim.
Right, metformin's been around a long time. It's a prescription medication. It's not very expensive.
It's cheap, it's pretty safe.
Yeah, and it is the gold standard right now that we have for managing those sort of disorders. So the evidence supporting berberine use right now is weak. Okay, so who cares? Maybe it could still work, even though there's not a lot of evidence to support it.
Yes.
But one of the issues that you have to be careful about is the supplements are not super well regulated by regulatory bodies like FDA or Health Canada.
Right.
They're not at all. In fact, you can put out a supplement, you don't need an FDA approval. However, if a problem occurs with it and there's safety concerns that do occur, then the FDA will step in and investigate it.
Just like Prime Energy in Canada last week was recalled because of the amount of caffeine in a single serving. We weren't sure what they were going to do. We thought they were going to change the labeling, but they have temporarily withdrawn it. Canada's really aggressive. The US has not done it. They're looking into it, but we've withdrawn it for now.
Right. So you have to be careful when you're taking a supplement, recognizing the fact that it is not super well regulated. So there's not people out there who are looking out for your best interests with these supplements. And that's important because there are some risks associated with berberine.
Yes.
Which, one of the big things is it crosses the placenta, which means do not use it if you're pregnant.
And generally speaking, when you're pregnant, you have to be 1,000 times more careful with anything that you put in your body. Obviously, like we've learned, smoking, drinking, drugs, and supplements, even certain foods. You have to be raw fish kind of thing. You have to be very, very careful because you have another growing human being inside of your body. You have to be very careful. Talk to your family doctor before you take any supplement.
Yeah, but definitely don't use berberine if you're pregnant.
And that's because of its role in the cholesterol metabolism pathway, which is one of their claims. But it can cause increased bilirubin and cause something that's very dangerous called kernicterus, where bilirubin increases in the newborn baby.
Yeah, and that can have neurologic effects. But of course, bilirubin is an issue with newborns. That's why some babies are born jaundiced and they go under the light. So you definitely don't want to use it then. And other things that can happen with it, it can cause diarrhea, constipation, give you gas.
It always makes me nervous when something causes both loose stool and not enough stool. Or
make
firm
up your
stool.
mind.
Yeah. You're going to be spending a lot of time on the toilet, it sounds like.
Yeah, should I stay or should I go now?
I'm glad you said should. I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Come on. This is a family channel.
Jeez, that was
now, the gas and the gas might definitely cause your partner to lose weight, but it's probably not going to help you lose weight.
Right.
Just because they'll lose their appetite.
So what's the take-home message for berberine?
The take-home message is there's no quick fix. There's nothing beating exercise and monitoring the food that you take into your body, okay?
And when it comes to food, I would love to say, because we have lots of videos about food and food choice and things like that, there's no one exactly right diet. Everybody is so different. Even the way we process foods, what it does to our blood sugars with certain foods, it's all very, very different. So you have to experiment a little bit, and just because it worked for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And a strict diet is not necessarily the answer. So be sensible.
One thing that I think is universal across any diet, or no matter what you're doing, is portion control.
Sure.
Reduce the volume of the food.
If you eat too many calories, it's probably going to be a problem.
Okay, so there's no there's no quick fix. No matter what you read on social media, I can take this pill and go crazy, forget about exercise and eat whatever I want. It's not going to happen. So that's the one message, is exercise and monitoring the food you take in are the most important things if you're trying to lose weight and live healthy. And the third take-home message is, with these supplements, they're not regulated. There's no FDA or Health Canada regulation over these supplements, so you're kind of on your own. And it wasn't a big deal 20 years ago when supplements would come out because they couldn't spread like wildfire because the internet wasn't there to fuel it.
It's now very topical with all the fires we have in our country right now.
Yes, we do. Sorry for using that dangerous pun. But because of social media now, these things can spread across like crazy. And so that's our job on social media, to temper that wildfire.
And the other thing that's not tempered is someone else's motivation to get you to take a supplement by providing a link in their video saying, hey, buy this one, buy that one. It's also very dangerous, and there's unfortunately no real accountability. So proceed with caution. If you want to try it, that's up to you. Talk to your doctor, monitor your symptoms carefully, and proceed with caution. There you go. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel.
Next week we'll do scotch.
There's no evidence that Scotch is
And
good for
remember, you are in charge of your own health.
Sorry, Scotland. We'll see you next time.